How you doing? Coming at you with a Game of Thrones style opening, like in the beginning of the show, but this is gonna be more of a city instead of that what they made there. This is kind of quick and dirty, but at least it gives you buildings rising, and then you could tweak it from there. You can make it the way you want to make it, but this will give you the basic idea of it. So here, I'll show you what I did here. So here's just a basic animation I did. I have the buildings rising up and I just have a camera going through the scene. All right. Before we start, I just want to go over to Facebook. And if you're a Facebook person, then what you could do is please, please, please go to this page, Heroes Don't Come Home Film. If you type that in the search box up top, Heroes Don't Come Home Film, and you're on Facebook, if you could please like it. It's a feature film we're making this summer. We're trying to get as many likes as we can. Not only that, it will give you behind the scenes of how we make a micro budget feature. So we're an indie production company, and it will kind of step you through the whole process, but it'll also step you through the process of how we integrate visual effects with some of our footage. Like we have to degrade a cabin because time's supposed to pass by, so I'll show you how I do that. There's some war scenes where we're gonna have some explosions. I'll show you how we do that. There's a lot of different things that we'll post on here, so please like us and check out what we're doing on here. But this is going to be a very quick tutorial because we go into the shoot in 4 days. What a perfect time to make a tutorial. What was I thinking? Alright, so the first thing you want to do to make this work is you want to download a plugin for 3ds Max called Greeble. If you haven't tried it yet, it's an amazing plugin. You could use it for detailing spaceships, or you could use it for the city we're about to do. The possibilities are endless based on your creativity and what you want to do. So if you go to this link here, it's max.clanky.com/plugins, and you should be able to go here and you'll see that there's Greeble for all these versions. So say you're still using 2012 Max, you could click here and download it. 2014, click here, download it. Whatever version you're using, you could click and download. And of course, I'm sure he would like a donation if you could do it, because he made this amazing plugin here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into Max. All right, so here we are inside Max, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of how to use Greeble in this one, and then the second one I'll show you how I created multiple city sets and how I animated a camera through it. But let's first get started with the first part. I'm going to go up to the menu here, and I'm going to go to Standard Primitives, and I'm going to click Plane. And I'm just going to reset this just to make it one by one, just so you can follow along. I make a plane here. And I'm going to change the plane to, I have to go length segments, so that'll be 4, and then width will be 4. So you can see there's 4 going across and 4 going up and down. Got it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. I'm holding down the right button. Convert to Editable Poly. Let go. And then what I need to do is go over here and click on this. This is Polygon. And I could select the different faces, and I'm gonna hold down Control, and I could select multiple faces. Okay, so you can see where I am so far. The next step is I'm gonna go to the modifier list and load the Greeble plugin. If you have a problem bringing this plugin into 3ds Max, leave me a message, ask me. If there's anything I forget in this tutorial or skip by, please ask me. I will do anything I can to help you out. Okay, so I load the Greeble, and now you can see that instantly it caused those faces to rise up. And say I set this to 200, and I back out a bit, I'm just right click. I'm just going to click on here and just middle scroll, move around a bit. And you can see now I have buildings here. Pretty rad. I mean, it's just like one click and boom, you got some buildings. I think it's an amazing plugin. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to animate these buildings rising. But before I do that, the great thing about this is that it's so customizable. So let's say, and this is very important when you're on a film or on a commercial, and say you're the TD on it, or say that you're doing something and somebody wants to make a change, like, hey, can we have buildings rising up here too? What's great about this is you could go back to the editable poly level, and I just clicked on it. You could see that we no longer see the Greeble, but then I could control click this back part here, and then if I go back up to the Greeble level, you could see that it's been affected there, which I think is amazing and great. It could save you a lot of time. All right, so the next step is that I animated this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the timeline a little longer. It's at 100 right now. So the way you change the amount of time we have here is you click on this little calculator looking thing down here, time configuration, and it says start time, end time. I'm going to make it 400 frames just to give us more time just to see it a little better. And I'm going to go to the beginning of my timeline, and I'm going to set it to 0. Nope, 0. So you can see that the buildings are all the way down at this point. And I'm going to click on auto key just so that way it will automatically pick up any changes I make. I'm going to move to, I don't know, 180. And I'm going to set the max height to 200. And if I click back to the beginning and press play, oh, jammas, you could see it. Rising buildings. It's pretty rad. So they have the rising buildings here now. And you can see it's very simple at this point. I mean, there's not much on there right now. But you could see how it's pretty cool. I mean, I used it for a pretty simple animation of a city. I think it's pretty cool. And then you could mess with the taper if you wanted to. You can make it more or less tapered. You can see that I did that there. So if I did that, now that kind of animates with it. Okay, but if I don't want that, Control Z, set back to normal, go back to the beginning, and it's back to the normal rising buildings again. What we could also do is if you want like 2 levels of building, you could go over a little bit here, and then this controls the pieces on top. So what I could do is set this max height to later on to like maybe like that size. And then you could see when I go back, like those start to rise as well. So I could go back to the beginning, click play, and you can see how you have not only the buildings rising, but you have these pieces on top rising as well. I didn't choose to do that for mine. If you want to do that, that's great. If you don't want to, that's all right. I'll just Control Z out of it. So let's go back. Oh, I went too far. Edit, redo. I went too far. That's okay. These are the things that happen. So I'll just do it over again. Auto key, go over here, make it 200. 202. Why not? Doesn't matter. Alright, so I could play and go to the beginning. So you can see how that works. If you wanted to mess with, you could also mess with the minimum height here and make that like, I don't know, 30. And then you could see that it kind of changes it up a little bit. If I went here and I changed it to maybe, I don't know, 0. And then we'll have the two layers going at once. You could do all different things with it and play with it, you know, the way you feel you will like it. So that's the end of this one. Sorry it's so quick, but it'll give you the basic idea. And then next time I'm going to show you how I actually clone this. I set up a whole city street and then I animated a camera through it. So I hope you tune in next time. Later.